Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This guy right next to me, that's Tim, and this is The Second Legacy, and thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, this is the 2A Day show where we look at all the things going on in the 2A, look at the politics, look at the news, break some analysis down, give some commentary, and leave you with a smile because of the amazing sarcasm and humor we introduce, or at least hopefully that's the plan. With that said, Tim, we've got to talk about something because the internet broke. It's over, and it's not the eclipse. It's the rock.
Oh, I was thinking it was the eclipse because we got about 5 hours as of this recording before the rapture. So we just wanted to bang this one out before we were on our way.
Just had to. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Monday morning, and let's see, 44 seconds into the podcast. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to walk past that.
Right.
I will not let me devolve into anything on this.
Okay.
But yeah. It turns out, Tim, the left is caught between a rock and a hard place.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Come on. Did you see what
I see what you did there?
It was amazing.
That was a great eclipse joke.
Oh, it was. It was the end of the world. I had to squeeze it in, It's fantastic. But yeah. So,
thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Dr. Producer. Thank you so much. But the left is, I think the right word is apoplectic, Tim.
Ooh.
Apoplectic. Yes.
That's a lot of syllables on a Monday morning.
It is, because you know why, Tim? Because he dared step outside of the confines of the openness that is the left, unless you don't agree 100%.
Yeah.
That whole shtick.
Yeah. You got to toe the party line 100%. If you deviate even a little bit, you're canceled.
Ooh. Yeah. Verboten, baby.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that.
You cannot have an opinion of your own, folks. Not on the left side of the spectrum.
Nope. Not on the gun control on the left side. Nope. And for the record, I was just going to say it out loud. Dwayne Bop right here. He didn't put guns in all of his videos. He's not like he's a pro gun rights guy. That's not the point. The point is, we got to show you what's happening because it's something bigger, Tim. This is something bigger than what they're laying in. This is number 2. Doctor, let's start this party out.
To be real and to be direct and to be open and to be transparent. And as you and I have talked about, if you ask me a direct question, I'm always going to give you a direct answer, whatever it is. And that's important to me. And authenticity, we hear that word a lot, but that's important to me. And I feel like, we could go down the well here, but in today's easy cancel culture world and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me. And in the spirit of that, you either succumb and be what you think other people want you to be, or you go, well, no, that's not who I am. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be real.
Any of those things stand out to you that he just mentioned? Because that's not the main part they got upset about, right?
Well, they didn't get upset about him like being against the cancel culture and not wanting to take part in it and all that stuff. I mean,
that's a tiny little part of it. That's not the clip that's been going viral. That's just the intro. See, now, so that's what stood out to you in that clip was the cancellation and the woke piece.
Well,
right?
He's just saying that I'm not sure what his point in all that was, other than if you ask me a direct question, I'll give you a direct answer. And he's going on about, but then you got this whole woke thing, this whole cancel culture thing. So he's heading down the path of why he doesn't want to say who is endorsing that. Well, he's not endorsing anybody this year, I presume. So
no, exactly. That's exactly right. Now, you picked up on something there that I think was a very important piece. And then the next clip is the one that everyone is passing around. But this is just a lead in. He goes after the woke culture, the cancel culture, this culture, that culture. Well, that's the left.
Mm-hmm.
He's not talking about the conservative side or the gun rights side, or he's specifically alluding to the cancellation premise of the left, where it's either you're either all for gun control and common sense gun reform, or you got blood on your hands.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's 100% or it's 0%, right? And that's something I think it's a important piece. We fight that all the time. Like off the top of your head, I'm sure you could come up with some memories of just how vitriolic the anger is if you don't agree 100% on take every single gun. Well, what about securing schools? Oh my God.
Oh, security doesn't work in schools. It only works everywhere else. Yeah.
Why do you hate everything? It's horrible. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm landing that plane on, if you are not 100% in lockstep, goose step, if you will, with the gun controllers or the abortion advocates or the leftist in general, you're pretty much the exact opposite and you must be destroyed.
Right.
That's what he's alluding to.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And the last thing that I think is so powerful there is be real. Don't be what people expect you to or want you to be. Be yourself. Well, that kind of speaks into the same thing because the left expects you to do exactly what they want.
Right.
There is no room for original
No, there is
individualism
no
thought.
individuality. I mean, for being the big nonconformists, they're about the most conforming people I've ever met in my entire life. You either conform or die. You do what we say, you toe the party line, you don't deviate 1 degree. And if you do, you're canceled. We're done with you. We're going to destroy you. We're going to get you fired from your job. We're going to get you, just make sure you can never do anything ever again in life because you
Right.
had the audacity to disagree with us on one small point.
I think you picked out the exact same thing that I just picked out on that. But now let's go to the next clip, which has the left going into a tailspin of epic proportions. And then I've got some for you too. But let's see what the catalyst, what could have been so wrong, Tim, that he says here. This is number 3, Doctor.
Happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this. This is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I'm not going to do that because what I realized, what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division. And that got me. The takeaway after that, months and months and months, I started to realize like, oh man, that caused an incredible amount of division in our country. So I realize now going into this election, I'm not going to do that. And I wouldn't do that because my goal is to bring our country together. I believe in that in my DNA. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just I realize that this level of influence, I'm going to keep my politics to myself.
Thank you. I wish more actors would just practice that last sentence. Just keep your politics to yourself. They destroy their own reputations when they go out there and get politically active, regardless of what side of the spectrum they fall on. People don't pay money. They don't pay $50 or whatever it costs for a movie ticket these days. Bidenomics. They don't pay that to go get, indoctrinated into that particular actor or actress's, political ideologies. And so I just wish they would do that. But, it's so funny that he's doing this because typically A-list actors fall, even if they're not leftists, they have to allude to being leftists if they want to stay employed in Hollywood. And then you have the other ones just go full bore, I'm, full radical left. So it's interesting to see an A-list actor start to kind of step out of that. Now, I know there's been, people like Tom Selleck and stuff like that over the years that have come out strong pro-2A stances and things like that, or as conservatives. And somehow they managed to stay employed, at least to some degree. But it's still really interesting to see an A-list actor do this because he's going, no matter what he says here, when he just by saying, I'm not endorsing Biden this time, and I'm not happy with where we are as a country right now, he just burned bridges with most of his brethren in Hollywood. This can't be good for him.
So, beautiful people of the Second Legacy. I'm talking to the audience right now. Let me let you in on some stuff on the backstory of this show. Tim and I do not script or predetermine where these conversations are going to go. It's a natural conversation that we're having around the topic that we're covering at the time. Where you just went, Tim, this is my favorite thing about the show because we arrive at the exact same location through different perspectives. Okay. You just nailed every single thing that I agree with on that opinion without me telling you what my thoughts were. You just nailed it.
Well, I haven't seen that video clip until just now. Yeah.
But that's the power of this show is two normal dudes having a conversation and arriving in a common sense location is such a powerful thing. Because what you just did was, I think, representative of what a lot of people will do across the country. When they see that clip, they don't go, ooh, he burned Biden or Harris, or they don't go, ooh, he's going for Trump. No, they go, thank you. I'm sick of hearing all the politics from every aspect of life.
Yeah. Yeah. We get inundated with it. I mean, I would just rather, if I want political information, I'd rather go seek that information out versus every time I turn on any electronic device, I'm getting bombarded with
Hmm.
political opinions. I don't care what your opinion is. I'm
Correct.
perfectly capable of forming my own opinion. I don't care what The Rock thinks. I don't care who he votes for. He's not going to influence my decision one iota. There's no famous celebrity or anybody that's going to say something to me that's going to change my mind and worldview. It just, and so
Yep.
it's a fool's errand to go out there and, being The Rock or Taylor Swift or whoever the big influencer is right now. It's foolish to go out there and think, oh, I can go out and just reshape the political landscape if I just
Right.
share my opinion. No,
Well, it's
actually, you
hubris.
don't. You're going to alienate half of
It,
your viewing
yeah.
audience is all you're going to do.
You just wrapped it up. I'm so proud of you today. Okay, so dude, you just nailed it. And I think that's what we're seeing. Okay, so stay with me on this because I have a theory. Are you fully ready for this theory?
Mhm.
Okay. We saw between 4 to 8 years ago, we saw something change in society. And by all means, jump in on this whenever you
Sure.
feel inclined to do so. We saw corporations and stars, A-listers, every single person was pressured into a position or corporation of you've got to take a side, left or right,
Mhm.
right? Now, the people that made them in that position were the left. The Twitter mobs were the ones that made them do that because if you do not make this stance and we don't bully you into this position, then we're just going to start a negative campaign on you on Twitter. And because Twitter is a captive audience for the left, it's going to seem much bigger than it is. So that made corporations shift to the left. Then Democrats put pressure on stars, influencers, A-listers, shifted to the left. When people like you and me, because we weren't even talking about this when this happened, you and I, but when people started realizing what they were doing, you just hit something so crucial. These corporations were taking a gamble. The stars were taking a gamble. My likability of the population is 80 to 100% of the population that likes me. That would be a potential consumer of my goods. Well, you just took a political stance, which is going to be supported by 50% and say, good, you should do that. And then the other 50% is going to say, screw you, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
So now you've taken your audience from 80 to 100% of the population down to 50%.
So,
And you're now an object of ire. Continue,
well,
please.
yeah, but I mean, to that point, take Tom Cruise, for example. I didn't go see the most recent, whatever Top Gun movie because I don't care how good it is. I probably won't watch it because every time I try to watch one of his movies now, my mind gets distracted while I'm trying to focus on the movie. My mind gets distracted about him bouncing around on Oprah Winfrey's couch like a moron over his wife's pregnancy and not using drugs and all this. And he was completely out of his mind. And so I know he's bat beep crazy, right? And so I can't get that out of my mind when I'm trying to watch a movie that he's in. So now I just don't watch his movies. And it's not because I disagree with him politically. It's just he came off as as a complete lunatic, and I can't enjoy the movie because my mind keeps going back to that. Like I just sit there and try to ponder my mind's eye, while he's trying to do his lines. I'm sitting there thinking, does he really believe this stuff? Is he really that crazy?
Right.
And that it just ruins the movie for me. So I think that there's more and more people becoming like that. They're just tired of the constant political indoctrination by actors. We don't watch them for their political opinions. We watch them because they're good actors or actresses.
Exactly. And if you look at The Rock by himself, because a lot of people in my comments on this one were saying, oh, he's just a paid actor. He's just shifting because he feels the political winds are shifting. I don't think that's it, respectfully. And I want the opinion. So leave your comments right down there. But I don't agree. I think what's happening here is you are seeing a brand being damaged by taking political stances. Look at what The Rock is involved in by himself, just alone. He's got WWE. He's involved in Disney. Disney's been in the news for a little bit of that woke ideology and indoctrination.
They've lost millions
They're
of
taking
subscribers.
a hit,
yep.
Right? The Rock is now being involved, and he's realizing that the biggest, broadest audience is non-political. I'm telling you, there's look at Meta. Meta just came out and took Instagram and made it a mandatory choice to see political content or not. So they killed the natural organic discovery.
Yep.
That's what they did. I mean, you saw all of these companies get involved and put their thumb on the scale for the left side of the political spectrum for virtue signaling. They got a backlash. Target, Bud Light, Planet Fitness. And now they are going, okay, we've just got to stay out of politics because we can't please everybody. And this is too damning.
Yep.
Well, no
I know.
Sorry.
No, I know. They're trying to extract themselves from the mess they've made for
Yes,
themselves.
that's exactly what's happening.
So they've realized, like you said, Bud Light's a perfect example of that. They had no idea the backlash would be as severe as it was because people had been swallowing that propaganda forever, no pun intended. And
Terrible verb.
and so it's like finally it just reached a boiling point where people are like, okay, that's a bridge too far. I'm done with Bud Light, whatever. I don't drink, so I had no say in the matter. But it's really funny to see, and this has all transpired for the most part in the course of the last 3 or 4 years, right? We saw a really hard shift to the left. So Biden, not to get too far off in the weeds, but Biden ran on the platform of, I'm going to be a moderate, going to be a uniter. I have a long history of being a moderate. And the minute he took office, he went so far left, he went off the spectrum. He had the Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warrens and AOCs of the world in his ear. And for whatever reason, he went down path crazy. And so it's people are just tired of it. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of being propagandized. We're tired of just being force-fed political content. We don't want that anymore. I remember there was a time in my life where we didn't know or care what an A-list actor's political ideologies were because they didn't talk about it. Anytime they did an interview, they talked about the movie they were working on. They talked about saving puppies or whatever. They didn't go into general politics. And that was a better time for everybody involved.
It was a glorious time.
Well, but there was a time when, the actors would come on the Johnny Carson show and they'd be all dressed up, and they'd be a little funny and they'd be, but they didn't talk politics, right? And if they did, it was just at a comedic level and it was on both sides. It didn't favor one or the other strongly. But that's not where we are today. Now we have entire talk shows that are nothing but far left propaganda. So, and people are just tired of it.
Johnny Carson, what a pull.
Well,
man.
As a kid, I used to love watching the old Johnny Carson shows. They were, they were syndicated at that point. He wasn't making them anymore, I don't think. Maybe when I was really, really young, but yeah. So
no, but it's just a good blast from the past. That's awesome.
He was one of the great talk show guys. He was hysterical.
For those of the younger in our audience, you should look it up. There's some really funny stuff.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
YouTube about Johnny Carson.
Yeah. He was hysterical.
But then a lot of our audience is like, yes, I was there too.
Yeah, but I mean, even go into the 80s in Arsenio Hall. He was absolutely, like the biggest pop culture sensation, and his show was not around general politics. They just goofed around and had a good time.
Isn't that weird? People want to look at entertainment for entertainment.
Right.
Well, Tim, I think that was an excellent discussion around those points, but he then went just simply too far. And then we've got the lefties coming in right after this because they're waiting in the wings. Are you ready for where he just went too far beyond the pale?
Yeah. Let's get our political indoctrination in for the day. Hit me.
No. This might surprise you.
Okay.
All right. This is number 4, Doc.
Hear this. Well, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people. And I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president. And that's who I'm going to support 100%.
Okay. I thought it was going to be somebody commenting on what he said. Oh, okay. No. Yeah. I mean, what a crazy idea that might be.
Isn't that weird?
Right?
That's odd.
So we see The Rock trying to firmly put his both feet. He's not straddling the fence. He's just trying to be moderate and let both sides decide what they want. And I'm not going to insert myself into the conversation. It's not my place.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Amazing. Good. Everyone else take notes.
Right.
I got billions of dollars waiting from the general population for the people to do it.
Right.
And that right there, my man, is why the left is freaking out.
Yep.
That.
But see, if The Rock decided to start a podcast that was about general politics, that would be fine too, because people would then be seeking that content out. Right.
Because it's specifically aiming towards
that.
Right.
Don't do an interview on national television and spew your politics. Right. Don't go out there and just push your politics. If you want to be political, I'm fine with them, being political. Just do it in a place where people have to seek it out, and don't bombard me with your opinions unless I go looking for them. People have the right to be political.
That's what I love about doing what we do.
Yeah.
What I love about what we can do is they seek us out because
absolutely
in the political realm.
Absolutely.
But then we can also go and just have fun.
But that's what even when I was doing not general, but 2A politics on the Military Arms channel, it just didn't feel right. So when you and I started talking about the concept of second legacy, it made more sense. And so I've even seen that in the comments, like, yeah, Max apolitical. He doesn't really talk about that stuff on his channel. He's doing his own political channel now. So you can go find us to get our political opinions if that's what you're interested in. But if you just want gun content, I'm far more comfortable just doing gun content on the Military Arms channel because I'm keeping the things in the silos so people can find what they're looking for.
Exactly. And meanwhile, my entire sphere is political. So
Well, you're just
that's my big
trash.
silo.
I mean, God, you're
I am.
political
I am.
trash.
It's a thing. Oh, it's terrible. I'm a trash panda.
You are
I
trash
am.
panda. Yeah.
Hey, look at this. Speaking of trash panda, Tim, how was that for a segue? Listen to this. I've got The View because we've got to talk about Sunny
The
Hostin.
View. Oh, I thought you said Q.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, The View.
Q,
The View, not
trash
Q.
panda. Never mind. It was a gun joke. Okay, go
I
ahead.
get it. Q, the trash panda. Yeah, no. Trash panda, honey badger. I got it. All right. Doc, let's play number 5.
I do think we're living in a time where we have someone running for president that is an existential threat to democracy. Right? That is where we are at. Someone who has 88, criminal charges, 4 indictments. Someone that has vowed to be a dictator on the very first day he takes office. Now is the time. If you have a platform, you must be active. You must speak out. That's how I feel. And I generally don't think that celebrities should be forced to be politically active.
Not forced.
But right now,
They
if
have
you
an
have a
obligation.
platform, you have an
Well,
obligation.
Oh, I don't think you should be
Ooh.
forced, but right now you need to be forced. They're lunatics.
Well, you
but
have an obligation.
This is how the
You have an
left
obligation.
propagates leftism, right? It's forced.
Exactly right.
And so they're going to beat you over the head
Exactly
with it. You either get in line or we're going to destroy you. And if you have a platform, look, I don't think everybody should be political, but if you have a platform right now because there's an existential threat to democracy doesn't exist anywhere in the world. We need to get out there and make our voices heard and tell people how to vote. No, shut your stupid mouth. Go vote for whoever you want to. I'll do the same.
Mhm.
That's called freedom. I don't need you telling me what I need to do. Now, there's plenty of idiots out there that will go, sitting there eating their popcorn like, oh, she said vote for Biden. Okay, I'm going to go vote for Biden. I mean, there's a certain segment of stupid out there.
It does exist.
Yeah,
It
but
does
for the
exist.
most part, people are pretty entrenched in their ideologies and their political views. And so we just don't care. I think I speak for both left and right. I just don't care what you think.
Right.
So
I think that's correct.
shut your mouth and dance. That's what you're on TV for. Entertain me.
Exactly. Not Sunny, but definitely The Rock.
Well, yeah, she's not entertaining at all.
She's not.
Unless you think
she's not there for
lobotomies are
dancing either.
entertaining, So
That's potentially true.
Yeah.
But Joy Behar's there for that part. I love how Joy jumped in really quickly. She's like, well, no, not forced. Force is bad. Force is bad. But they're obligated.
she kicked her under the
my
table.
God.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud.
Don't say it out loud. Don't Freudian slip. They're not forced. They're obligated. Oh, you mean like societal pressure and expectations
Right.
put on the
Or-
left? because
or
their
else-
version of truth is what's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not really
exactly.
threatening you, but you need
Wow.
to speak out
Yeah.
or else.
Yeah, it's like the only thing that would have made that better is if there was an accent. You're obligated, no? You do this now? Goebbels wants it.
Oh my gosh, these people are just incredible. Well, so
It really is.
what's the old Rock going to do? Is he just holding fast? I mean, where's this end up for him? Do we know yet?
Dude, I genuinely think that he's going to get out of, I think this is going to lead to him getting out of politics completely and just creating content. And then everyone else is going to follow because they see his money go up by about 40 to 60%. That's where I think this is going to go.
I hope that's the case.
Because money talks.
Yeah,
Money talks.
I truly hope that's the case. I hope that people get the idea that because he's kind of breaking the mold and stepping outside of the norm and taking all the flack. And if he's successful in doing this, you're going to see other actors that only toe the line because they're obligated, or else
That's exactly
they're gonna find their own way to extract themselves from the conversation. And I don't see that as being a
You
bad
just
thing.
nailed it.
So let's see.
No, you just nailed it.
Yep. Let's
go to the Twitterverse real quick. Let's reinforce this point because remember what he said in the clips we showed
Yeah.
you. He didn't say he was not for Biden. He didn't say he was for Trump. He literally just said, "I'm out." All right. This is from a well-known Twitter.
Oh, not this
account,
lunatic.
JoJo from Jers. Oh yes, you love her. Everyone does. Here's the quote.
Wow.
Betraying your country for shameless self-promotion is about as bad as it gets. I thought The Rock was one of the good guys, and I was wrong. I hope this was all worth it for him, and I'm sure his own kids will understand when they grow up and ask him how he met this moment. Gag me with a spoon.
This woman is a poster child
Be nice.
for stupidity. I mean, when you look up stupid in the dictionary, there's a picture of this freak.
this Twitter account.
Yeah, she is the dumbest. I follow her just because of hot takes like this. Her stupidity is, and not only that, she'll contradict herself. There's so many memes out there where she like shifts 180 degrees. Like she'll say, "I'm not taking the Trump vaccine. I'd rather inject myself with bleach." And then a year later, she's like, "Who else got their vaccine today after Biden was elected?" It went from the Trump vaccine to the Biden vaccine, and the only person that was responsible for it was decided by the election. It's just. She's such a brain dead moron. And what's funny is
that's what Kamala Harris did.
I would say the vast majority of her followers follow her just because they want to see the next stupid comment, not because they agree with her.
Right.
They're just laughing at her, and she's too dumb to see that. But anyway,
well, it speaks. This tweet speaks to what we just saw from Sonny Austin, right?
Yep.
This is painting a picture of the left. So
this is the left trying to fix it. Like, hey, don't you dare deviate. Hey.
Yes,
and this is the or else part.
No, don't you
public
go anywhere
shaming
because you're obligated.
Yeah.
You're obligated, right? I thought he was one of the good guys, and I was wrong. Shaming, fear. Okay, this next part. I hope he knows, or I hope this was all worth it for him, and I'm sure his own kids will understand when they grow up and ask him how he met this moment. That is leftist vernacular.
Yep.
How did you meet this moment? How did you face tyranny
You're on the wrong
stand in the
history.
wall?
Yeah,
right.
You Nazi.
Exactly right.
Even though they're the fascists by their behavior.
Trying to do. Exactly right. You are trying to do exactly what Tim and I were just talking about. You're trying to dissuade anybody else from following the Rock suit here.
Right.
Because you cannot have them do this. If everyone does this, their power center evaporates.
Right.
Here's another one. This is number 7. Again, based on what we just showed you. What a coward. It's not about division. It's about a choice between fascism and democracy. I choose democracy. Virtue signal democracy.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
it's just...
Ricky, there is no democracy on the planet. We don't have a democracy. We have a representative republic. It's a constitutional republic. That's like basic, like high school knowledge.
Basic
okay.
civics.
So quit calling it a democracy. It is not. I don't care if Webster's redefined it in the last 2 years. It doesn't change the fact that democracy and republics are two distinctly different types of government. They're not synonymous. Now, fascism. Let's talk about fascism for a moment, shall we, Ricky? What did the brown shirts and the black shirts do? That would be the Nazis and the Mussolini's version of fascism. What did they do with anybody that deviated from the party line? They beat them in the streets, burned their homes, their buildings, their places of business, and then exterminated them. That's what fascists do. You fall out of line, they beat you back into line or kill you. Now, who's the fascist here, Ricky? The right that's like, we don't care what your opinion is, or you, Ricky, that either you do what I say and you parrot what I believe, or you need to die. Who's the fascist, Ricky?
Exactly right. But it speaks everything that we just covered, and that was the last little segment to tie this together. You just concluded that excellently. Everything that we just covered was an individual saying, I'm backing out of politics. And the reaction.
Get him! Burn his house! I thought he was a good guy. Get him!
Right. Grab your torch and pitchfork.
I thought he was a good guy.
Exactly.
Now that he doesn't have an opinion, he's not sharing his opinion. He's evil! He was a good guy when he was telling you to vote for Joe Biden, but now that he doesn't have an opinion, bad man. God, that woman.
Is he orange too?
I know.
You know he's orange on the inside.
Oh, whatever.
But that's the whole point, dude. As we look through this is a watershed moment because you're going to see more and more and more of this. The biggest people at the top are going, nah, I'm out. The people in the middle are going to start to go, nah, I'm out. And then they're going to lose their power structure because it's not in vogue anymore.
Yep. Well, like I've always said, the pendulum will always swing both directions. I know when you're in the middle of the pendulum swinging far left and you happen to be more conservative in nature, it's disheartening to see that. But just know the further it swings left, the further it's going to swing right when it comes back around.
Baby.
That pendulum never stays far left or far right because it's trying to find neutral ground where people that don't have the same opinion can come together, have a conversation, and try to work out their differences. But in today's charged political climate, we just have extremists on both sides that don't want to talk to each other anymore. And that's how republics, not democracies, fail. Anyway, on that note, folks, let us know what you think about The Rock in the comments. Do you support his neutrality or do you think he's a traitor to the cause? Let us know. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.